So, just got some unexpected, I guess bad news. Um, they cut my whole team where I was working, so I got laid off. And I'm not sure what the hell this means. I mean, uh, with the years that I've got there and whatnot, the severance package is pretty decent. There's and all that. It was just very, very sudden. Like, we had about an hour to get our shit together, get on a call with the manager just above where the throat got cut or whatever. They move so fast, it's like, we were told, but it was like, again, 15 minutes, we get an email before it's happening, we get an email setting up the meeting, and then with enough information in the email, in the sense that our direct manager was showing us no longer working, that we knew something horrible was happening. My first thought was they had cut just her because the rest of us are still on, and but I guess there's like, I don't know, some kind of warning level or whatever, some amount of time between when you get told you're leaving and when you're gone. Yeah, it's not like, it's the equivalent to the escorted from the building type of situation. You find out and you're gone. A little odd because maybe this will be part of the severance, but usually there's like a post-firing interview I'm used to, or a post-leaving interview. I haven't been fired from anything like this. Where they want to gather information, whatever. But yeah, it felt very abrupt. From my point of view, I've been kind of tossing around the ideas, like, one of the thoughts I had was, well, this is probably the last job I'm going to have, just because I don't know that I'm going to go through looking for another job and the interview process and whatnot. There are probably things I can get. It's kind of hard for me because I avoided certifications. So unless I can get personal references or whatever, which I probably can, but unless somebody takes them highly into account, it's going to be really, really tough. And, honorifics that I got from where I work don't really count for much. On the other hand, I could look for more work through the same company, but they're doing a lot less remotely, so it's highly unlikely I can find a position where they're hiring along those lines. And let's see. But anyhow, I've been kind of debating this whole, do I want to work anyway? I calculated out how much money I have without even taking into account any inheritance I might get from my dad. Because who knows, medical expenses or something could eat that all up in an instant. And I should be able to live until I'm 90. But that wasn't really counting on, the raised inflation. And so, the last year has kind of put that more into doubt. But I fucking hate looking for work. I really do. And I despise the idea of this was, until the last couple of years, far and away the best job I've ever had, just in terms of a really, really solid team, doing doing stuff that was almost relaxing, almost a game. Again, until recently. Recently, things got much uglier, um, where we were kind of trying to find a way to justify our existence, making up, well, we'll do this, and, there was some reception to that, but when it really comes down to it, yeah, we had kind of been removed from the model, and we were just hunting for a place. What's kind of weird is that there were like expenditures made by people who I guess knew that we were going to be cut. Expenditures in the sense of I don't know, additional servers stood up and whatnot. Which, maybe the decision hadn't been finalized when those decisions were being made. It is kind of weird because, the stuff I've been working on for the last month, assuming that they made the decision within that kind of time period, and they probably did. Some of them added some value. There's definitely, we've been doing a divestiture program that just today they trained a bunch of people from India who are going to do that part. And that's fine, it's trivial, it's easy. Screw it, But it's like not a full-time job or anything. And then the other things I've been doing, they're just going in the wastebasket, basically. I mean, they're all kinds of, I don't know. It would have been great to know, because went through a lot of angst trying to design stuff that is just not going to get used in any shape or form. Probably that whole server and whatnot's going to get taken down. But yeah. So now I'm kind of just in this, well, what the fuck, man? Work has kind of helped create structure in my life. And that's something that I would rather, I guess I kind of want to some extent, in addition to whatever pay there was, and will be for a while still. But yeah, in addition to that, and it's like, well, certainly if it wasn't for the pay, if it was just for the structure, I wouldn't go out of my way looking for it. I could impose structure without having, I wouldn't, but without having to buzz around looking for work. Oh well, anyway, I certainly have some time to do some deep thinking on whether or not I want to hunt for more work. The thing is, if I choose not to, you kind of can't even take more than like a year off or whatever, and still come back at all reasonable. I mean, I got really lucky because I was working as a contractor doing the same thing at the same place. And then after my contract extensions expired beyond whatever they could keep going, they waited and maybe 8 months or so, were able to rehire me and took me on as full time at that point. And I didn't know that was going to happen, so I went through several months of first unemployment and then kind of, well, gosh, what the hell do I do with all this? And that's something else I forgot about after my severance runs out, I can go on unemployment for a while. Which of course, extends things a little bit. Of course, if I do that, I actually do have to look for work. But one way or another, I think I'll take at least a couple weeks off before I start thinking too hard. But damn, man, just, out of the blue. Which, I guess that's the part that sucks the most. And I know that, financial institutions work that way. It's just so kind of inhuman. Everybody was stunned. Everybody was kind of like, what the and then hey, y'all got fired out via Skype, which, what else are we going to do? But, en masse, which again, it's more efficient, and there were a fair number of us overall in the team. But yeah, somebody brought up, I've been downsized a couple of times. I've never had it done via Skype. I don't know, what else are you going to do? Right? What are the options? We don't work all together in an office. But you kind of wish it could have been done more personally. But again, if it was our individual manager getting rid of a small number of us, that's one thing. But this is going far enough up the chain that there isn't much else to do there. Anyway, it's a pretty day. I'll see if one of my other unemployed friends has an interest in doing something.